Hello all, and welcome to Miss Martin's Classroom. Today's podcast will be featuring a realistic fiction, young adult middle grade novel that shares the world-shattering effects of those in positions of power and privilege, fulfilling those roles with bias. Starr is a 16-year-old girl living in a poor, mostly black neighborhood, but attending a mostly white, financially privileged preparatory school. Her two very different, very conflicting worlds collide as she witnesses her childhood friend die from a police officer's gunshot. She faces pressure from both of her communities, and Starr struggles to find her voice as she determines how to stand up for what she deems is right. When I was 12, my parents had two talks with me. One was the usual birds and bees. Well, I didn't really get the usual version. My mom, Lisa, is a registered nurse, and she told me what went where, what didn't need to go here, there, or any damn where till I'm grown. Back then, I doubted anyone was going to do anything anywhere anyway. While all the other girls sprouted breasts between 6th and 7th grade, my chest was as flat as my back. The other talk was about what to do if a cop stopped me. Mama fussed and told Daddy I was too young for that. He argued that I wasn't too young to get arrested or shot. Starr, you do whatever they tell you to do, he said. Keep your hands visible, don't make any sudden moves, only speak when they speak to you. I knew it must have been serious. Daddy had the biggest mouth of anybody I knew, and if he said to be quiet, I needed to be quiet. I hope somebody had the talk with Khalil. He cusses under his breath, turns Tupac down, and maneuvers the Impala to the side of the street. We are on Carnation, where most of the houses are abandoned and half the streetlights are busted. Nobody around but us and the cop. Khalil turns the ignition off. Wonder what this fool wants. The officer parks and puts his brights on. I blink to keep from being blinded. I remember something else Daddy said. If you're with somebody, you better hope they don't have nothing on 'em, or both of y'all going down. As if we weren't blinded enough, the officer beams his flashlight in our faces. "'Kay, you don't have anything in the car, do you?" I ask. He watches the cop in his side mirror. Nah. The officer approaches the driver's door and taps the window. Khalil cranks the handle to roll it down. As if we aren't blinded enough, the officer beams his flashlight in our faces. License, registration, and proof of insurance. Khalil breaks a rule. He doesn't do what the cop wants. "What you pull us over for?" "License, registration, and proof of insurance." "I said, what you pull us over for?" "Khalil," I plead, "do what he said." Khalil groans and takes his wallet out. The officer follows his movements with the flashlight. My heart pounds loudly, but Daddy's instructions echo in my head. Get a good look at the cop's face. If you can remember his badge number, that's even better. With the flashlight following Khalil's hands, I make out the numbers on the badge. 115. He's white, mid-30s to early 40s, has a brown buzz cut and a thin scar over his top lip. Khalil hands the officer his papers and license. 115 looks over them. "What are you two coming from tonight?" "None ya," Khalil says, meaning none of your business. "What you pull me over for?" "Your taillight's broken." "So, are you gonna give me a ticket or what?" Khalil asks. "You know what? Get out of the car, smart guy." "Man, just give me my ticket. Get out of the car, hands up where I can see them." Khalil gets out with his hands up. 115 yanks him by his arm and pins him against the back door. I fight to find my voice. He didn't mean. Hands on the dashboard, the officer barks at me. "Don't move." I do what he tells me, but my hands are shaking too much to be still. He pats Khalil down. "Okay, smart mouth, let's see what we find on you today." "You ain't gonna find nothing," Khalil says. 115 pats him down 2 more times. He turns up empty. "Stay here," he tells Khalil. "And you," he looks in the window at me. "Don't move." I can't even nod. The officer walks back to his patrol car. My parents haven't raised me to fear the police, just to be smart around them. They told me it's not smart to move while a cop has his back to you. Khalil does. He comes to his door. It's not smart to make a son move. Khalil does. He opens the driver's door. You okay, Starr? Pow! 1. Khalil's body jerks. Blood splatters from his back. He holds onto the door to keep himself upright. Pow! 2. Khalil gasps. Pow! 3. Khalil looks at me, stunned. He falls to the ground. I'm 10 again, watching Natasha drop. An ear-splitting scream emerges from my gut, explodes in my throat, and uses every inch of me to be heard. Instinct says don't move, but everything else says check on Khalil. I jump out of the Impala and rush around to the other side. Khalil stares at the sky as if he hopes to see God. His mouth is open like he wants to scream. I scream loud enough for the both of us. No, 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 is all I can say, like I'm a year old and it's the only word I know. I'm not sure how I end up on the ground next to him. My mom once said that if somebody gets shot, try to stop the bleeding, but there's so much blood. Too much blood. No, no, no! Khalil doesn't move. He doesn't utter a word. He doesn't even look at me. His body stiffens, and he's gone. I hope he sees God. Someone else screams. I blink through my tears. Officer 115 yells at me, pointing the gun, the same gun he killed my friend with. I put my hands up. This heartbreakingly realistic, raw novel grapples with police brutality, racial bias, and activism as Starr witnesses her best friend Khalil get shot by a police officer. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. This author's debut novel, an immediate bestseller that dares to expose issues very prevalent in our society today as it parallels what has affected so many communities, families, and young people for far too long. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This is truly a story you can simply sink your teeth into. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, check out my hashtag MSMReadyToRead and follow me on Instagram at ms_martins_class for more new books and fun lessons that are sure to engage you and your kiddos. Be sure to tune in next week for my next Book Talk Tuesday podcast, and please comment below if you've read this book or another book by the author. Don't forget to also try to get involved in any way that you can with the Black Lives Matter movement and all the current event issues that are going around today in our media. It is very important that you need to take that step in order to educate yourselves and educate those around you on ways that we can better our communities and better our whole society to stop issues like this from happening. I've included some relevant links below in the comments that you can use in order to get involved in this movement, and you can use this in a variety of ways. You can donate to different organizations that help communities of color. You could also march. I know that there have been different marching events that you can go and show your support to, and there's just so many ways that you can get involved. And so I'm leaving that below for you guys to check out, and thanks for watching.